On February 24th, 2024, my friend Spooky J88 and CIA's Legit 11 asked me to play Red Dead Redemption 2. I said, sure, let me get on the Xbox first. Little did I know, this was a night I would not soon forget. When I joined, I saw a horse on top of a roof in Valentine. I thought that was weird, but I moved on. I had suggested we play a game of poker at the saloon, and everyone agreed. Things were going smoothly at first, and aside from CIA's Legit 11 getting triggered that Spooky J kept revealing his own cards for no reason, he was doing fairly well. That is, until my personal losing streak ended, and CIA's Legit 11 kept losing more and more money. Toward the end, he lost all of his $5 he bet, and put 5 more on the table. However, me and Spooky thought it would be funny to just leave as he put more money on the game. After all, we did make a fairly good amount of money. When we left the saloon, chaos was breaking out in the streets, which normally would be crazy, but we were in Valentine, so it was normal. After a while, me and Spooky realized CIA has not said anything in a good while. When we asked if he was still there was no response. I looked up, and there he was, sitting on the edge of a building. I thought it would be funny to blast him off the building, but before any of the buckshot could hit him, a lasso flew out of nowhere and yanked him down. The lasso belonged to Spooky. As soon as I walked over to check on him, he collapsed. It frightened me, and I shot him out of fear.
What the hell?
It was alright, as he respawned, and he was just casually strolling down the street. Spooky started walking with him, hoping he would respawn. Then, to my surprise, Spooky whipped around and hogtied him, but it was just a prank and he let him go. Colin made his way to the church, but he didn't make it in time, for I had lassoed him around his feet. I tied him up, put him over my shoulder, and took my friend to the church. Somehow he wriggled free. Before I could react, blam, I was blown up by Spooky J88. When I respawned, I sprinted back to the church and spotted CIA, where he proceeded to kneel down and moor my previously dead body. I noticed Spooky pull out a hammer. CIA must have also noticed, because as soon as he saw it, he got up and walked away. He didn't get very far, as he was brutally shoved down by Spooky J88. He got back up and tried to walk away again, with Spooky right on his heels. He seemed to have gotten frustrated because he pulled out an elephant rifle, whacked Spooky with it, and shot him in the head. I pulled out my carbine repeater, hoping to avenge my friend, and shot him in the back of his left shoulder. But he was unfazed, and he whipped around and shot me in the face. I respawned again, and had to make my way over to the church once more, and there he was, and there my body was, laying ablaze in a massive fire. I saw commotion in the graveyard. Spooky was completely engulfed in flames. I pulled out my revolver and shot CIA again, and again, and again, to make sure he was dead. We both realized something was up. CA hasn't said a word since we left the poker table. We decided it was time to get out of there. We fast traveled to Strawberry together, and there we sat, on the other side of the stream, guns at the ready, waiting for CIA to appear. When he finally showed up, we followed him with our guns raised, as he strolled through the town, silent as can be. When we knew we couldn't let our guards down, for CIA is legit, or whatever was controlling him, was unpredictable and dangerous. He walked up the stairs of a hotel, jumped off the balcony, and went to the general store, where we both couldn't see him. We waited for what felt like hours. When we finally came out and started quietly walking away, Spooky panicked and shot him. We ran as fast as we could to the fast travel post. We traveled to Blackwater. And lived to fight some events. When we spawned in Blackwater, the town was silent, empty, and unnerving. We both checked our maps to see if CIA was nearby. We saw someone, but it turned out to be someone named Boston. Anyways, we figured the town was too small to hide in, so we went to somewhere more vast, more rural and rugged, Lagros. I noticed a boat in the water when we spawned in, which gave me an idea. What if we can get a boat for ourselves and sail away to where CIA would never be able to find us? Spooky suggested we go back to Blackwater, for there are boats there. It sounded risky, but we had no other choice at the time. When we arrived at Blackwater once more, I looked at my map, and in that moment I saw a blue dot on the map behind me. I had no proof that it was CIA, but I wasn't going to take any chances. I had to get to the docks, fast. Me and Spooky jumped into the water and made our way to the boat. Spooky held the owner of said boat at gunpoint and forced him out of the seat and into the water. I wanted to sit down, but I accidentally yanked Spooky out of the boat and threw him into the water as well. He gave up and just let me steer the boat. He told me to pull around to the side of the pier and see if CIA was there. I didn't think this was the smartest strategy, but I went along with it. He got out of the boat and I waited. Suddenly, Spooky came sprinting back to the boat and told me to start rowing. He didn't have to tell me twice, so away we went. When we got to shore, we found Colin in the water. Spooky pulled him back in with a lasso. But unfortunately, he died. Once Spooky saw him respawn, I picked up CIA's body and I wanted to show him his own running course. You know, it was funny. I tried dumping his body off the dock, but it failed. What makes it even worse is that I accidentally fell in myself. I tried to swim back to shore and climb up, but it wouldn't let me climb up to the dock for some reason. Time was running out and I had to do something fast. I was swimming through rock. Just when I knew I was going to die of exhaustion, I didn't. I made it back up to shore within the last nanosecond. Me and Spooky once war, fast traveled to Saint Denis, where they had both better, more advanced boats. We were slowly chugging along when we saw CIA had arrived. Spooky pulled out his binoculars to see if he could spot CIA, and he saw him wearing a creepy mask and waving at us atop a roof. This was getting too weird. Spooky and I knew what we had to do. To defeat the monster, we must come to the monster. Spooky turned into his alter ego, Farmer Jenkins, while I turned into mine, Lightning Thunder Scheme. However, despite transforming into our different personalities, things were still weird. Spooky had claimed to have heard people screaming for help, when I had found a force in the middle of the railroad, despite no one else being in the area. We were getting close to disclosing the game, but instead we got on our train and made our way to the opposite side of the map. And as we drove down the rails, there he was again. CIA was waving at us on the other side of the railroad. We were done screwing around. We turned off both our Xboxes and got a call on our phone. I went outside to take the dogs out, and it was freezing cold. I had heard a notification that someone joined the party. It was CIA. As soon as he joined, I heard a faint sound in the distance. It was a train horn. I live absolutely nowhere near a train. That freaked me out really badly. I'd gone inside and into my room. After 5 minutes of just chilling in silence, we kept getting notifications from CIA, private messaging us. Sounds started to come from CIA's mic. Spooky frantically told me to kick him, and I did. As soon as he joined back, Spooky got kicked randomly at the same time, and CIA started whispering something creepily. And then, suddenly,